A Walmart supplier is recalling thousands of pounds of beef that it sent out nationwide for possibly being contaminated with wood chip.
Americans are eating more meat than ever before, yet the supply chain is falling apart. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, meat consumption is expected to hit a record high in 2025. But here's the terrifying twist. While demand explodes, the quality plummets. Beef, pork, and chicken supplies are thinning out. Corners are being cut, and the meat you just brought home, it might be days past its prime, or worse, dangerously unsafe. Why are grocery stores selling spoiled meat? How did trusted names let rot slip onto their shelves? And most importantly, how do you know it's not already in your fridge? Let's this video give you the answer. This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. And today we will break down 5 grocery stores where your next steak could turn into your next mistake. Number 1. Walmart. When you step into a Walmart store, everything is designed to feel reassuring, with bright lighting, wide aisles, and price tags that promise you have enough to feed your family without breaking the bank account. But in 2025, behind that polished retail gloss lies a growing concern that should give every health-conscious shopper pause. Because what if that discount meat you're buying for almost every meal will actually send you to hospital with a hospital bill that could push you to the verge of homelessness one day? Walmart, the retail behemoth serving over 240 million customers each week across more than 4,700 U.S. locations, has quietly become infamous for one thing you never want to cut corners on: meat quality. And now, in an age where safety and health are top priorities, Walmart finds itself at the top of the list for the worst meat in America in 2025. Throughout 2024, complaints started pouring in from coast to coast. In Texas, Florida, and California, angry customers took to social media, posting disturbing photos of meat that looked more like science experiments than dinner. Ground beef turned a dull gray, chicken breasts shimmered with an unnatural rainbow sheen, and pork chops smelled foul long before their expiration dates. Have you ever been caught in this uneasy situation when shopping at Walmart? Please share your story below to warn other people, because for many at that point, picking meat at Walmart started to feel like playing Russian roulette with their stomachs, and no one wins when food poisoning is the prize. So what's causing this alarming trend? Much of it comes down to Walmart's relentless push to keep prices low, to achieve those bottom dollar deals. Walmart often relies on suppliers who cut corners wherever they can. In the most simple way to put it, they are trading quality for cost. That means meat arrives at stores already teetering on the edge of its sell-by date. For shoppers, that translates into an alarmingly small window to prepare and consume their purchases safely. By the time you've gotten home, unpacked the groceries, and planned your week's meals, that fresh meat may already be turning. But it's not just about how the meat looks or smells. A 2024 independent food safety study found that nearly 23% of meat samples collected from Walmart stores showed early signs of spoilage, even though they were still technically within their sell-by dates. That's almost double the national industry average of 12%. In other words, the meat is deteriorating faster than it should, raising serious questions about storage, transportation, and handling throughout Walmart's massive supply chain. Their distribution network, once hailed as efficient, now appears to be so sluggish, in fact, that some of the steaks arriving at store coolers may as well be ancient artifacts. Slow turnover, inadequate refrigeration during transit, and long shelf times all contribute to meat that's less than safe by the time it reaches your cart. Another weak link in the chain is the packaging. Let's not forget about it. Customers frequently report leaky, flimsy meat packs that drip into grocery bags and cross-contaminate other food items. Nothing ruins your appetite faster than opening a bag and discovering a pool of mystery fluid from your discount hamburger meat. It's like buying a biology experiment you never signed up for, as one shopper joked bitterly. Honestly, I think the ground beef just moved. The situation gets worse when you consider how little in-store expertise is available to intervene, unlike traditional grocery stores with trained butchers who inspect, trim, and prepare fresh cuts. Most Walmart locations rely almost entirely on pre-packaged, pre-cut meats delivered from centralized suppliers. This leaves little room for quality control at the store level. If something arrives bad, it usually stays bad until a customer complains. And then there are those infamous yellow markdown stickers, meant to signal a good deal. They now serve as a quiet warning, shouting meat with visible discoloration, excessive liquid, or unpleasant odor is often still slapped with a reduced for quick sale tag and left on the shelf. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, except in this case, the pig might actually make you sick. To their credit, Walmart has made public commitments to improving supplier oversight and updating inventory practices. But as of mid-2025, customer experiences tell a different story, one where promised reforms haven't yet reached the coolers, until Walmart takes substantial action to overhaul its meat sourcing and handling protocols. It may be wise for cautious shoppers, especially retirees or families with children, to spend those extra few dollars elsewhere. After all, meat isn't just another item on your shopping list. It's the centerpiece of your meals and your health. When it goes wrong, the consequences can be immediate and dangerous. So if your grocery plans include stocking up at Walmart, you might want to think twice before tossing that bargain pack of ground beef into your cart. But Walmart isn't the only name on this list. Up next, we look at another grocery store that many shoppers have trusted for years, perhaps a little too blindly. You'll want to see what we uncovered. Number 2, Whole Foods Market. The name Whole Foods used to evoke a certain sense of security, an image of spotless aisles, hand-selected organic produce, and meat so clean and wholesome it might as well have come from a farm next door. It's the place people go when they want the best, or at least feel like they're getting it. But in 2025, that illusion has cracked. Despite charging nearly double the prices of conventional supermarkets, Whole Foods has earned the unsettling distinction of landing second on today's list of grocery stores with the worst meat quality in America this year. It's a sobering reminder that high price tags do not always buy safety, freshness, or truth. Let's begin with those comforting green labels: organic, grass-fed, local. They're the silent promises that Whole Foods wraps around its meat, the badges of honor that justify its sky-high prices. But in 2024, an independent audit of their beef told a different story. 24% of samples labeled grass-fed were found to contain traces of grain feed. That means nearly 1 in 4 of those carefully labeled packages was misleading. Those cows were also munching on grain behind the scenes, and that premium you paid for grass-fed purity. It may have bought you a marketing gimmick instead, but the missteps don't stop at labeling. Across dozens of customer review platforms, one recurring issue has haunted Whole Foods shoppers in 2025: inconsistent freshness. The stores may look immaculate, their displays may sparkle, but the meat, especially the chicken, has left many consumers uneasy. Numerous reports describe chicken that appears fresh in the store, only to release sour, unsettling odors within a day or two of purchase, even when kept refrigerated and well within its sell-by date. For shoppers expecting top-tier quality, it's a betrayal, like buying a luxury car that breaks down before it's out of the dealership lot. Then there's the matter of where the meat actually comes from. Whole Foods often markets itself as a champion of small-scale local farms. But dig a little deeper and the truth is more complex. Industry insiders and former employees revealed that only about 30% of the store's meat actually qualifies as local under standard definitions. The rest is transported from large industrial processors, sometimes traveling hundreds or even thousands of miles before hitting the display case, for a store that built its brand on closeness to the source. This geographic gap raises serious ethical and logistical concerns. In early 2025, things came to a head when an internal whistleblower leaked documents detailing supplier verification issues. According to the report, Whole Foods had been fined on multiple occasions for failing to maintain proper oversight over its certified organic meat suppliers. Some of those farms had fallen short of basic organic standards, yet the meat continued to carry organic labels in stores. Their verification process, the report concluded, had so many gaps it resembled a block of Swiss cheese left out at a summer picnic. More troubling still were findings related to temperature control, an issue directly tied to food safety. In a spot check conducted across 15 stores in February 2025, were found to have meat storage temperatures exceeding the federally recommended maximum of 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not just a clerical issue, it's the kind of oversight that puts customers at risk of foodborne illness. For elderly shoppers, parents of young children, and those with weakened immune systems, such lapses can have devastating consequences. Perhaps the most glaring disconnect between perception and reality lies in Whole Foods' pre-marinated and pre-seasoned meats. These products carry the steepest markups in the entire department, sometimes 70 to 90% higher than the plain, unseasoned cuts. But according to recent tests by consumer advocacy groups, these are also the most likely to suffer from texture problems, off flavors, and freshness concerns. Essentially, shoppers are paying boutique prices for meat that may be masking its flaws with layers of spices and marinades. It's like dressing up a broken mannequin in designer clothes and pretending it's runway ready. What's been Whole Foods' response to all this so far? Lukewarm at best. The company has issued carefully worded statements acknowledging the need for improved supplier relationships and stronger quality control measures. But those reassurances have yet to result in any widespread, visible changes at store level. Customers still report the same issues. Prices remain sky high. And the same labels that once inspired confidence are now sparking skepticism. Does this mean you should swear off Whole Foods entirely? Not necessarily. Some departments, especially seafood, continue to receive praise. Many locations maintain better standards in non-perishable goods and produce. But when it comes specifically to meat, the product most vulnerable to storage failures, sourcing shortcuts, and consumer risk, the store's premium image does not reflect its current reality. The lesson here is clear. Don't let a high price fool you into feeling safe. Sometimes, the most expensive meat in the store might be the one you should worry about the most. And Whole Foods isn't the only brand on our radar. Coming up next, we explore a store that takes the complete opposite approach: bargain bin prices and rock bottom standards. And the outcome, predictably, is just as alarming. Number 3, Dollar General. At first glance, Dollar General might not even seem like a place you'd consider buying meat. After all, it built its name on low-cost household items, not fresh food. But in 2025, the chain has made aggressive moves into the grocery business, especially in rural and lower-income communities where choices are limited. With over 19,000 locations blanketing the United States, Dollar General is now more common than gas stations in some areas. But what's hidden behind those low prices is a meat department that's raising serious red flags. The main problem: infrastructure, or more accurately, the lack of it. Unlike traditional supermarkets designed for fresh food handling, many Dollar General stores were never built to store perishables safely. The refrigeration systems are notoriously unreliable. In fact, health department records from 6 different states revealed that Dollar General received temperature violation citations at a rate 3 times higher than other major grocery chains during standard inspections. Their freezers are so prone to failure, it's become something of a running joke. As one former employee put it, "Our freezer broke so often the meat developed abandonment issues." What happens when a freezer goes out, according to that same employee? Standard procedure was to shift meat to another functioning freezer if one existed, but in many cases, meat sat in unsafe temperatures for hours before anyone noticed. Even more troubling, once the system was back online, that same meat was often returned to the shelves without any real quality inspection. The only thing checked was whether the expiration date could still be read through the frost. If that's what passes for food safety, you might want to think twice before tossing that pack of frozen chicken into your cart. And it's not just about the temperature. The actual sourcing of Dollar General's meat is filled with mystery and inconsistency. Unlike established grocery stores that partner with well-known suppliers, Dollar General stocks mostly frozen and heavily processed meat products. A 2025 report by a national consumer watchdog organization found that over 40% of their meat items were labeled with vague terms like "packaged in the USA," without disclosing where the meat was actually raised or processed. Some of this meat has traveled across more borders than a seasoned globetrotter. It's got more stamps than your local post office. Expiration date violations are another serious issue. Just in the first quarter of 2025, Dollar General paid fines in 14 different states for selling expired food, and the majority of those violations involved meat products. One inspector in a southern state found ground beef that had expired more than 23 days earlier still sitting in the freezer case. At that point, it's not ground beef, it's a biology lesson gone wrong. But perhaps the most concerning aspect of Dollar General's meat sales is who they're targeting. The chain deliberately places stores in food deserts and low-income neighborhoods areas where people may not have another option for miles. The strategy seems simple: put a store where competition doesn't exist and let necessity drive sales, when the next grocery store is 20 miles away and your car is unreliable. What choice do you really have? Dollar General executives have responded to these criticisms by pointing to their investments in refrigeration improvements and employee training. But a deeper look at their 2025 financial disclosures tells another story. Compared to industry standards, Dollar General spends 63% less per store on refrigeration maintenance. That's not a gap, it's a canyon. Promises mean little when the budget says otherwise. So what's the takeaway for the shopper who depends on Dollar General to stretch their paycheck stick to canned goods, dry pasta, and shelf-stable basics? When it comes to meat, it's simply not worth the gamble. You might save a few dollars today, but the risk to your health isn't something you can afford. And while Dollar General serves communities that are often forgotten by big grocery chains, our next store has done the opposite, branding itself as a colorful, creative shopping destination. But don't let the playful signs fool you. What's happening behind the scenes might surprise even its most loyal fans. Number 4. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has always stood out from the crowd, with employees in Hawaiian shirts, handwritten chalkboard signs, and a quirky, cheerful atmosphere. It feels less like a grocery store and more like a neighborhood event. Since opening its doors in 1967, the company has cultivated a fiercely loyal following. Their unique snacks, affordable wine, and eclectic product lines have turned grocery shopping into a feel-good experience for millions of Americans. But in 2025, that warm and welcoming image is being challenged by something far less charming, mounting concerns about their meat. Landing at number 4 on our list of grocery stores selling the worst meat in 2025, Trader Joe's has surprised and disappointed many of its fans. The problem isn't just isolated cases or a few bad reviews. It's a pattern that suggests systemic issues in how Trader Joe's sources, stores, and sells its fresh meat. It begins with a lack of transparency. Unlike traditional grocers that openly list supplier information on packaging, Trader Joe's wraps most of its meat under private labels names like Trader Joe's, Trader Ming's, or Trader Giotto's. While clever branding has long been a part of their charm, in the case of fresh meat, it raises serious concerns. Shoppers have no idea who raised the animal, where it was processed, or what standards were followed. It's like trying to trust someone who won't tell you their last name. It may seem mysterious at first, but eventually, it feels like they're hiding something. This branding secrecy becomes even more troubling when paired with customer experiences. Across multiple platforms, shoppers have reported disturbing issues with Trader Joe's chicken and pork products. Meat that looked perfectly fine at the store began emitting foul odors and turning slimy within 24 to 48 hours, well before the listed expiration dates. This issue has been especially common with boneless, skinless chicken breasts, which customers often end up throwing away the same day they bring them home. It's not just disappointing, it's wasteful, frustrating, and potentially unsafe. Then there's the matter of their pre-marinated meats. On the surface, these seem like convenient options, easy weeknight dinners with a dash of flavor. But for many, they're a trap. These marinades often hide poor quality cuts beneath the layers of garlic, teriyaki, or smoky seasoning. Customers have found gristly, discolored, or foul-smelling meat. It's like makeup on a bad date. Everything looks good under dim lighting until the truth hits the next morning. The problems don't end with the meat itself. Trader Joe's refrigeration methods are also under scrutiny. Unlike many major chains that use closed refrigeration units to maintain stable temperatures, Trader Joe's often relies on open-air coolers. These cases may look bright and accessible, but they struggle to keep meat at consistent, safe temperatures. A thermal imaging study conducted in 2024 by a consumer magazine revealed temperature swings of up to 9 degrees within a single display case. In food safety terms, that's not just a minor variance, it's a serious risk. Packaging issues make matters worse. Many customers have reported opening vacuum-sealed packs of ground beef or turkey only to find a strange, slimy texture and excessive liquid pooling inside. These signs typically point to temperature abuse or aging products, two conditions that no fresh meat should ever suffer. For shoppers expecting Trader Joe's to offer not only tasty, but also safe food, the experience can feel less like dinner prep and more like an unplanned science experiment. In response to these mounting concerns, Trader Joe's spokespeople have pointed to their rigorous quality standards and long-standing relationships with trusted suppliers. However, they've consistently refused to disclose more detailed information about where their meat comes from. The explanation: revealing that data could give competitors an edge. But for many shoppers, that's a poor excuse. After all, when it comes to food safety, secrecy should never outweigh public trust. To be fair, not every meat item at Trader Joe's suffers the same fate. Many of their frozen meat products receive better reviews, likely because the freezing process preserves freshness and prevents bacterial growth. But that doesn't erase the core issue: inconsistency. When a store builds its brand around trust, charm, and cheerful service, the last thing customers expect is to find spoiled meat in their refrigerator the day after shopping. For older shoppers, families, and anyone trying to make healthy, safe choices, this inconsistency feels like a betrayal. And while Trader Joe's remains a beloved stop for cheese, snacks, and frozen meals, its fresh meat department has become an increasingly risky bet. Up next is a grocery chain that has long promised unbeatable prices, but as we'll see, those low costs come with some dangerously low standards. Number 5, Save a Lot. Save a Lot, a name synonymous with deep discounts and no-frills shopping, has long attracted budget-conscious families seeking to stretch every dollar. But in 2025, its bargain basement prices in the meat department come with a risk that many shoppers are no longer willing to take, while Trader Joe's disappoints with its branding versus reality disconnect. Save a Lot brings things to a different kind of low one, where affordability may be masking something much more troubling. This discount grocery chain operates around 900 stores across the United States, predominantly located in working-class and underserved neighborhoods. Their motto, discount, done right, claims to offer grocery savings of up to 40% compared to traditional supermarkets. But when it comes to meat, some customers are learning the hard way that those savings come at a hidden cost. Let's begin with the most obvious concern: freshness. In a 2024 national survey polling 5,000 grocery shoppers, Save a Lot received a dismal meat quality score of just 2.1 out of 5 stars, the lowest of any major grocery retailer. Online review platforms echo the same sentiment. Shoppers consistently report meat with suspicious discoloration, gray or even green tints, excessive pooling of liquids inside packages, and foul odors appearing days before the printed expiration date. Opening a tray of Save a Lot ground beef has become an unpleasant gamble, often ending with the package and your appetite heading straight to the trash. The root of these recurring problems lies in Save a Lot's business model. Like many extreme discount retailers, the chain operates on extremely thin profit margins. That means their meat supply chain is designed to squeeze costs wherever possible. Industry insiders say Save a Lot frequently buys from secondary suppliers, companies that acquire excess or leftover meat inventory from larger processors at steep discounts. While this may keep prices low, it often means meat that has already aged during prior storage is being redistributed to Save a Lot shelves with minimal oversight. Refrigeration reliability is another major issue. Health department records from 7 states revealed that Save a Lot stores received temperature violation citations at more than twice the industry average in 2024. Refrigerators and freezers at some locations were found to fluctuate so frequently that employees had difficulty maintaining food-safe environments. One food safety inspector remarked that their coolers showed more temperature swings than a springtime weather forecast. But perhaps the most alarming development came in the form of product recalls in just a 6-month span during 2024. Save a Lot meat products were subject to 3 separate recalls. The most serious involved ground beef contaminated with E. coli, which led to 17 reported illnesses across 4 states. These incidents raise questions not just about quality control, but about the broader safety practices within the company's meat supply operations. Instead of implementing systemic fixes, Save a Lot has largely leaned into aggressive markdown strategies to move questionable inventory. Their manager special stickers might look like a great deal, but in many cases, they're just warning signs in disguise. Deep discounts are frequently applied to meat that's nearing expiration or showing visible signs of degradation. For budget shoppers trying to feed their families, these misleading price cuts can have serious consequences. Even longtime Save a Lot customers are beginning to draw the line. A 2025 consumer behavior study found that 64% of regular Save a Lot shoppers now purchase their meat elsewhere, even if it means making an extra trip to a different store. That kind of inconvenience says a lot, for many. It's no longer just about saving money, it's about protecting their health and peace of mind. In the end, Save a Lot remains a go-to for affordable pantry staples and household basics. But its meat department, plagued by poor sourcing, weak refrigeration, and alarming safety lapses, has become a serious point of concern for shoppers who rely on value without risking their well-being. the smartest move may be to steer their carts past the meat aisle entirely. As we conclude our countdown of grocery stores with questionable meat quality, remember this knowledge is power. Being an informed shopper means looking past the shiny discounts and colorful packaging to understand what you're truly bringing into your home, especially when it comes to meat. The food that directly fuels your family's health and safety cheap isn't always worth the risk. Choose wisely, eat safely, and don't be afraid to ask the tough questions.